Where have you been? I've been waiting 1 hour. I haven't slept all night because I'm so excited there's a Harley downstairs. I've been down twice since breakfast just to look at the damn thing. Are you ready? Okay, here goes. I'm heating up. Quick life update, follow me, because for the next 4 days, Monika and I are very kindly, with Monika's mum and Monika, staying at Monika's apartment in Ipswich until we go to Tenerife. So, we've got the next 4 days in this room with almost every belonging we own. And we spent about 1 hour of this morning desperately looking for everything we own. If we need a pair of socks, it takes an hour to look through every single bag. If I need the keys for the bike, again, every single bag has to be completely unloaded and looked through. Let's go down to the bike downstairs because it is a 22,400 pound, 351 kilo, 93 horsepower bit of American muscle. Now, due to quite a few people saying that we need to improve the audio quite urgently on the videos, you'll notice we've invested in some on-person mics, which we've had a lot of tips about, that these should be the business. So I really hope that the sound quality is good. Let me know in the comments, is it a noticeable difference? And if it's not, it will break my heart. So just say it's a noticeable difference. Okay, here we go. I'm in a foul mood today because I haven't slept, because I'm so excited. Get ready for a handsome brute of a bike. The first thing that got me when it got pushed out of the van, the colour. Oh, look at the colour. Isn't it stunning?
It's beautiful, yeah. What is that?
Do you know, I've written, I actually wrote it down because I forgot the name. It's a special colour. This is the Harley Davidson Road King Special. £23,400 roughly. And don't worry, I've already done a loan calculator check on harleydavidson.com. Assuming I do 10,000 miles a year, assuming I do that, £416 a month with a £1,000 initial deposit. And of course, you have to pay the balloon payment at the end of the 3 years. But key thing here, and Monika often hates the fact that in fact, let me stand on the other side because I've got a microphone now, so I can do it. And this feels weird. I hope the sound's still good. Okay, so Monika often gets frustrated when I try and compare everything to something else. I compare the English weather to Spain, I compare this to that. If I see some white sand in England, that's Australia. But I have ridden the Indian vintage dark horse, and I think this is an exact competitor. So similarly priced, similar horsepower, both 1.9 litre engines. So that's all I can think about. When I finish riding this, I want to compare because I'm genuinely keen on these bikes. They're both bikes I'd buy. I want to know as a consumer, which one would I go for? Because genuinely I love them both, and I actually would buy one of them. So it's something I'm hand on heart really keen to figure out. Before we go, okay, Bonneville's got its quad lock. I'm going to get a quad lock setup on the Road King, so I've got my phone with me. And this is one just stunningly well thought out thing on the Road Kings, the panniers. Come and have a look at this, because this bike stinks of a company that know exactly what they're doing with this kind of bike. Just everything works beautifully. It's just so, look at that hinge. Just everything is brilliant. Okay, so I also love the fact it's got hard panniers built in. I'm going to go for this setup with the quad lock. So, vibration dampener to protect the phone. That just screws onto this little mount here. Vibration dampener screw on. This is why I love quad lock. It's just so easy to do everything. That's vibration dampener on, and then on top of that, I won't go for the wireless charger today. I'll go for the standard phone mount. Screw that on. And that's it. It is as simple as that. Quad lock on. Come round here because look at how good this looks. These are about the thickest bars that I've ever seen on a motorbike. And quad lock come with lots of different attachments, so it even fits on this. And come around here, because look at how good it looks from my point of view here. Obviously the stunning Harley gauges, I'll go into that more, but quad lock there, perfectly situated. As a rider's position here, that's a stunning, stunning place to be. So, where we're going for the day. 1 hour ride away to a beautiful English seaside town called Southwold. And I cannot imagine a better place to go for a Saturday morning.
And we used to live there.
We did. Monika and I used to live there for a while, and yeah, it's a place that we still go to quite often. Really, really like this place. So we'll go there. Quintessentially British seaside town. I almost forgot. Listen to this. It's not the throatiest, it's very subtle. It doesn't have the boom in your face of a lot of others, but it's perfectly decent, and I quite like it actually, but it's definitely not the most characterful exhaust. You know, there's no better way to start the day than going for a ride to the coast. It's just life-affirming stuff. It really is. It's the most brilliant way to spend a Saturday morning. And just riding a Harley Davidson, just that sit back, enjoy, soak everything in. Bandana, open face helmet, feeling like a bandit. I know it's pathetic, but God, I love that feeling. I think in a previous life I was in some kind of biker gang or something. Okay, so Monika said she wants to go for a coffee, so we'll go find a coffee spot. Do you know what? I love it. There are so many little quirks around Southwold. I'm going to ride in front of this wooden door and have a look at how tall this actually is. That can't be more than 5 foot tall, that door, can it? Okay, we're just going to go and park up. I was riding along and I was nodding away, and then a BMW rider who I nodded to coming the other way, he went like that to me. I've never seen that before. But then, on the other hand, you'll get a huge amount of people looking, going, oh, Harley Davidson, and then you get just nods and waves from people going past. But I think Harley Davidson is the most polarizing motorcycle brand on the market. Either you love it or you hate it. There are very few people who are indifferent to it. Yeah, I'm leaning on the Harley Davidson side. Yeah, but also I just like all bikes. But yeah, wow, it's polarizing. I've never had that before, ever. Okay, I'll go and park up. Getting it into neutral is like playing an incredibly difficult. Ah! Nope, can't do it. Just turn the engine off. Can't get it into neutral. It's like you have to have the most balanced foot in the world to be able to get it into neutral. Can't do it, given up, just turn the engine off. Much easier that way. Looks really good, doesn't it? You know, I really like having these hard built-in panniers. I think that type of bike's called a bagger or something. I never know the exact name, but hard panniers built in, it's really, really nice and convenient just from a practicality point of view. Go somewhere, so much space in those. You can chuck more than you need in there. Sweatshirts, a bit of food, drink, loads of stuff, locks, and just lock it up, get on with your day and forget about it. All of the classics come out to play. Seen a classic Mini, Morris Minor and a classic Rolls Royce as well. And actually about a month ago, Monika and I saw an Aston Martin DB5 driving just past there, and that costs I think £1.25 million casually driving past us in Southwold. Okay, so we've got 2 onion bhaji pasties, because this is the Cornish bakery, so Cornish pasties and 2 coffees. And this place is right on the edge of Southwold High Street. Been here before, really, really good pastries here. Onion bhaji, Cornish pasty, massively recommend that. Look at that filling, chickpeas, like a little curry in a pasty. It's delicious, delicious. You know, I remember when I used to work at B&Q, which is this hardware warehouse for those people who don't live in the UK. And there was a fellow biker, an Irish biker, who I got along really well with. And he had a Japanese bike, and I had a Japanese bike. And then there was one guy in the wood aisles, and he had a Harley Davidson. And I remember one day I was working with Tony, the Irish biker, and someone came over to us and they said, do you know what that guy said with the Harley? He said, you two don't ride proper bikes. And I remember Tony was absolutely furious, and I remember he said to the Harley owner, I'll buy a Harley when I give up riding. That's what it's like. Non-bikers love Harleys, but bikers, if you don't ride a Harley, chances are, or there is a very, very good chance, you will not like a Harley. And I remember when the Irish biker said, yeah, I'll ride a Harley when I choose to give up riding. And I remember just nodding like, yeah, well done, Tony, nice one. But actually secretly thinking, oh, I still quite want a Harley. Is it weird? Does it make me? I'm curious on your opinions, because of course most people who watch this channel are bikers. Okay. Is there an element of truth? If you ride a Harley, Do you not see it as proper riding? How do you view Harley riders? I'd love to know. Please do leave your comments. What are your thoughts of Harley riders? Because I don't even know what to think. I know I love them, but I would love to know the general feeling of fellow bikers on Harley riders and Harley Davidsons. Example, Monika's mum, non-biker. If I'm riding around on the Bonneville, as she has, her level of interest in the Bonneville is absolute zero. Or any other motorbike, absolute zero. She couldn't have less interest, but the second Rasa, Freddie's getting a Harley. Freddie's getting a Harley? Quick on the phone to Lithuanian family and friends. Freddie's getting a Harley. Can he drive me? Can he ride me to work? If he rides me to work, can he rev the engine outside? It's incredible, absolutely incredible. Any other bike, no interest. Harley Davidson, though. I told you all of the classics come out on the weekend in Southwold. It is classic car spotting heaven. Look at this bit of American. Wow. Takes up at least 2 car parking spaces, at least. Wow. Oh my. Wait, look at the bumper sticker on the back of this. This is exactly what I was saying. Buy a Jap motorcycle. Help have another Pearl Harbor. Compliments, Bells, Triumph, Cycles, Fort Worth. Wow. Wow. What is it about American vehicles? Like when America, USA are on their game, unbeatable. Viscount, vintage bike, £90. Look at the simplicity of that. That is brilliant. Who knows what this is? There's a little counter there right next to the wheel. What is that? A mileage counter or something like that. And I remember actually my dad used to have a bike like this. You've got the gears on either side right here. So nothing up here, but gears right there. This only came in this morning, the lady was saying. This will go quickly. The oldest shop in town, this butcher, has been open for over 300 years. Right next to it as well, you've got a little shop selling vegetables and stuff. Completely stocked in time. And in probably the most beautiful heart of Southwold here with the Swan Hotel right there. Have you ever seen a classier sight than that? Old Bentley parked up in such a beautiful house. And look at this, you ready for this? A brother's out today. Sportster. You know, I really like those. You realise actually how small they are compared to the likes of the Road Kings, but still that's such a cool looking bike. For city riding, this makes absolute sense for city riding, 100%. It's half the size, but so cool. I love it with that rear sissy bar as well. I think I'd have one of those if I got a Sportster. Cool bike, cool bike. I'm pretty sure this is a row of fishermen's cottages, and I love the names. So, for example, Smuggler's Cottage right here, Oyster Cottage here, and the architecture in Southwold is what makes it so interesting. Beautiful old buildings, and these, you know, kind of just one-story buildings, just with a little section built into the roof. And so many of the houses here, they've got tiny little doors. Okay, we're going to ride over to a nice little spot overlooking the sea, and it's a perfect spot just to chill out to. And the last time we were there, we saw the Aston DB5, so we'll see if we're lucky again. Every time I sit on this bike, it's just so special. I really, really want one. Yeah, I'd have to remortgage the property, but it is that special. You would consider it, really is. It makes you feel so amazing. I just cannot imagine having a better Saturday. I can't imagine a better way to spend a Saturday than just lazy rides around the countryside, stop for a coffee, park up the Harley. It's just all so easy. Look, I'm sitting on the Harley. They've just thought of everything so well. It's just all so beautifully thought out, put together. I'll do a proper walk around soon, and I'll also do my thoughts on a comparison between this and an Indian. But first of all, we'll get to a nice little spot to chill out where I can gather my thoughts. Time for a front to back. Let's show this bike off. So, gigantic front mudguard and metal. Well done, Harley. Twin discs on the front. Look at the wheels. Let me just turn it. Keep your eyes on that, Monika. Oh, look at the wheels. They are very special design of wheel. That's a seriously mean wheel. And actually, the tyre is actually quite thin. It doesn't have that much, whatever you call it. It's a really thin tyre. It's almost like a low profile tyre that you get on a really cool car. Stunning, stunning wheels. Actually one of the nicest looking designed wheels I've seen on a motorbike. Beautiful. Twin discs, as I've said. The chunkiest forks that I've seen, with that classic Road King headlamp surround. Coming round, and this is probably something I'd do. You've got the crash bars on either side, and I think these are really well designed. They're very subtle. They don't stick out too much like some do. Very nicely designed, and they don't detract from the style of the bike. Then you've got the footboards for extreme comfort. Air filter there with, I think they call that a sock. You can just take that off. Beautiful seat. And a pillion seat, and I'll get on to pillion comfort in a little bit. I'll ask Monika about that, but that is extremely comfortable as a seat. Beautiful instrument gauge here, and I'm really glad because on a lot of Harley Davidsons they have a small digital speedo, digital tacho, and that works well with some of them, for example the Street Bob, but for the Road King, for me, you must have the analog dial, which is exactly what they've done. They haven't messed around with it at all. The only digital indication you've got is right here, and that shows a few things that you don't really need, but things like, I don't know, mileometer and things like that. So that is as old school as it gets. Look at this. Because Harley have thought of everything. As you come here, Monika, I'll show you this. They've thought of everything, and it's just you can tell the Road King's been in production since '94, I think, because it's just so well thought out. Here you've got the fuel. Okay, nothing weird about that. Very simple fuel. And here, where you'd, in the old days, have the reserve tank, you've got the fuel gauge. Just beautifully simple, analog, and just very well designed. Fuel gauge there. Turn that, and it all starts firing up. But they've thought of everything, because even this, where you put the key, turn it, and the lock, I hope it shows up. That's just the most beautifully designed key surround that you can imagine. Just stunning quality with that beautiful Road King there. Mirrors, perfect position. Mini 8 bars, so chunky that for my quad lock, I couldn't fit any handlebar adapters on it. They all had to be removed to actually fit on that gigantic, thick 8 bar. Okay, round to the back. These are so useful and so well made. It makes me really want one of this style of bikes, a big tourer with hard panniers, because pull that up, and of course there's a lock there to lock it, which is it's just all perfectly designed. Pull this up, open that up, fits a gigantic amount of stuff. That's all you need for proper touring. Come round to the back, Monika, and you'll see the twin matte black pipes there. Just everything, and the colour of course is stunning. Just everything it's the complete bike. For example, if you're looking at a Road King and you think, look, I like the look of the Road King, but I just hope it will be everything that I dream it will be. I really hope I'm going to like it. This bike, I promise you, will be everything you dreamt of and more. It's the complete package. It ticks every box. As a cruiser, it's completely unbeatable. It is a supreme machine. You almost can't fault it. You could say the exhaust note is quite fine. Personally, I quite like a lower exhaust note. You can always change exhaust if you want. The engine is a powerhouse. It's just perfect. Everything about this is the ultimate cruiser motorcycle. It does everything perfectly, from the styling, the way it's built, the engine, the brakes, everything is as you would imagine the perfect cruiser to be. Okay, so if you buy this bike and you want to do pillion riding, Monika was not actually that comfortable on it. You would have to get absolute essential. Maybe, was the actual seat comfortable?
Yeah, the seat is very comfortable, but just the shape of it.
Yeah. You kept sliding off, didn't you?
Yeah, kept sliding off.
So, but you must get a backrest for this if you take a pillion any time, because actually, honestly, Monika found this much less comfortable than a Bonneville. So you need to get maybe a slightly better designed seat with a backrest on it. And then I have no doubt at all this would be a supreme motorbike for two-up riding. But I always find this weird, and Monika said it while she was on the back. Harley Davidson, and actually even, well, Indian, you couldn't go on the back of this, but this should be out of the box a comfortable seat. You shouldn't have to get a backrest to make this comfortable, should you? Yeah. It's a Harley Davidson cruiser, it's a tourer. This should be an out-the-box comfortable bike for two people, but you have to buy a backrest to make it comfortable, so that is something to bear in mind. So whatever the price is of this, and if you take two people, you have to sort out making that more comfortable for two. Wow. That is an absolute stunner. I think that's a Mark 1 E-Type Jag. It's quite rare now that you see them on the roads because they're so valuable. The value has skyrocketed in the past 10 to 15 years of these. And look at the cars next to it. Porsche 911 convertible. Oh, that's one of the most beautiful cars ever made.
We got time on our side. We're in a state of hope. I need you on my fire. I want you to know that every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way. We got everything here, at least to stay alive. And the time that we share makes it all worthwhile. Got this place on our own. Do you feel that we got something strong? And I saw you walking the line, and the truth may come as a surprise that we I feel alive. You'll be the last one I think about.
This is an old fishing harbour that's still in use, and around us here, these are all of the old little fishermen's huts. So they'll keep all of their fishing gear in there. Often they'll have their fishermen's boats out there, and they'll just launch off into the water there. And just to the left of Monika, or to the left of me, just here, probably 300 meters away, is where they get out into the open sea. Look at these. Looks like this is actually made out of an old ship or something, but wow, that one looks like no one's been in it for about 50 years. There's an old jacket hanging up there. Look, peer through there. So much history. Okay. It's judgment time now. Harley Davidson Road King Special or Indian Vintage Dark Horse that I've done a review on probably even a couple of months back now. You can find that. And this is for my hard-earned money. They both cost within £600 of each other. Let's say 22, 23k, but within £600 of each other. They're both £350. They both have 93, 94 horsepower. They are so similar that it's incredible how similar they are. So what would I go for? First thing to point out, the build quality on the Road King, in my eyes, is better. This is a better put together bike, and I've got a few examples. I remember on the Indian Vintage, there were a few design elements that I saw that they felt like a bit of an oversight. For example, some messy wiring under the bottom, I remember with the Indian, but Harley, of course, have it on point, all tidy, all crisp. A few screws on the Vintage Dark Horse that I thought should have been better hidden. A few panel gaps, for example, on the front that I thought maybe shouldn't have been there. But with Harley, there are no mistakes at all. Everything is of the highest quality. They haven't overlooked any element at all. But then you get on to, when you buy a bike like this and you spend this much money, it's a bit like owning a Ferrari. If you look at, I guess you could say Ducati is a Ferrari in the motorbike world, but for me, the real look at me bikes are the Harleys, and that makes the Harley the real kind of Bugatti or Lamborghini of the bike world. These are the bikes that people really look at and people who don't know about bikes really love. So what turns more heads, the Road King or the Indian Vintage Dark Horse? Monica, help me out. What do you think turns more heads?
I think this one.
Do you really? Seriously?
Yeah, I think this one, yeah.
See, the Vintage Dark Horse, we were getting stopped all the time, weren't we?
Yeah.
All the time. And this one as well. How many times just today have we been complimented or stopped on the bike?
Yeah,
So many. We just had someone saying, can I take a photo of the bike? And I said, yeah, of course. What bike do you ride? Oh, no, I don't ride. Non-bikers love these bikes. So if I had to part my hard-earned money, they're so similar, the Indian and the Harley. It's on paper impossible to call it. So how do you pick? It must come down to personal preference. This is finished to a higher standard. They both look incredible. The Indian is a bit more out there with the styling, but if I had to part with my hard-earned cash, I would say, if you force me to choose, and I'm taking this decision very, very, very seriously, it's really tough for me to choose this, and I've gone back and forth about 5 times. Monica, before I decide, what would you choose if you had to part with £22,000?
Indian or Harley?
Yep.
Ooh, Harley.
Harley.
Yeah.
So I'd say a Harley. Do you know, I agree. I would go with the Harley, and I'd be happy with either, but if I had to choose, it's just that extra level of finish and quality that you get with the Harley. It's a really tough choice, both superb, but I really think I would go with this bike. It's taken me all day and 130 miles to come up with that choice. Okay, here we go. Should we do gear for the day after that revelation? Gear for the day. I've gone almost all American here, so let's just start with this, as American as I can. Sunglasses. Ray-Bans, they're not biking, but I wear them because they're all plastic. And I've bent so many metal sunglass frames that if I wear plastic, at least it doesn't bend in the helmet. Next up, Daytona, low profile helmet, American. It's only about £100 this, it's good value. Tobacco, motorwear, riding shirts. Just this year, I've become a massive fan of riding shirts. Warm weather like today, they're cool, they're comfortable on off the bike. This is the Tobacco something something jacket. I'll put the exact name right here and in the description, but really nice. Made in California, jeans, Broga Moto. I think only about £130, Polish company. I wear these a lot, and they are superb jeans, cool in the summer, great fit. You cannot tell they're biking jeans. And I got the pronunciation wrong last time. I think it's Furrigan or Furrigan, Fury. Furrigan motorcycle boots. These are the Melbourne boots, zip on the side, super stealth, super cool looking boots with throttle snake globe or glove trotter gloves. Again, just look at that simple styling. There's nothing that you don't need on those. And that's it. Shall we wrap it up here?
Yes.
I just want to say an extra bit actually. Bikes like this, they cost a gigantic amount of money, so you cannot justify it, of course, but it's that feeling you've got. I just cannot explain how nice a day I've had today, riding into the countryside to the coast and being on such an incredible machine. It's the way it makes you feel, and when you spend that much on a bike, it must make you feel amazing, and the Americans do it so well. I can't tell you how much I love this bike. It's ridiculous. I look forward to every single second that I'm riding it there. Beyond special. And that's it. Thank you so much for following us along with this video, and this definitely will be the final video before Tenerife. So thank you so much for watching. Please do give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you en route to Tenerife.